Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a fun little palette to show you, and this is the new Coastal Scents Freedom Travel Palette, and this is an empty palette that you can customize to your liking. You can add eyeshadows to it. I actually did eyeshadows and blushes to make a travel face palette. It's $9.99, but this week they actually have a promotion going on where if you buy 10 of the single eyeshadows, you get the palette for free. So it's a good deal if you want to create your own custom palette. And full disclosure, they did send this to me for free, but I have made several Coastal Scents custom palettes in the past. If you guys have been following me for a while, you probably saw my swatches on Instagram, and that's actually how they found me. They liked what I was doing, and they said, hey, do you want to create your own custom palette for this new empty one that we have? And I was like, definitely, because I've been wanting to make my own purple palette. I had actually been on their website a couple of weeks ago looking at all of their purple eyeshadows and thinking I should make my own custom purple palette because it's kind of such a trend right now. So it was sort of like coincidental that they actually came to me and asked me if I wanted to do this. So I thought I would just sort of go through my process and how I create these palettes, and then I'll show you this look that I'm actually wearing today because I'm wearing the palette on my eyes and my cheeks, and I'll also just show you a close-up of the palette that I made and do some live swatches. So without further ado, let's get started. So when it comes to creating these palettes, I used to sort of just pick eyeshadows that I liked, and then I would get them all home and put them into a palette and realize it wasn't cohesive, it didn't go together at all. So what I started doing is going to their site and screenshotting eyeshadows that I like, and then I go into a program like Paint on my computer and I put those screenshots sort of side by side. I line them up like I would be creating a palette basically. Like if I did the 12 pan palette, I would just do the 3 rows of 4, and then I would see how the shades all work together, and then I could decide whether I want to add more mattes or more shimmers or I need more transition shades, you know, and you could really figure out just how the palette comes together as a whole if you can see them all. So I would definitely recommend doing that if you decide to create a palette on their site, because there's just so much to choose from and it can be so overwhelming. So knowing that I wanted to do a purple palette, it really helped to just see everything laid out side by side, and that way I could make sure that everything was sort of within the same color family and the same tone, and that it would all work together seamlessly. So I'm really, really happy with the way that it came out. So let's just jump to some footage of me actually applying the shadows so you can see how I got this look. Alright, so the first shade I'm going to use is Bombay, and this is a really pale matte gray. Sometimes the white or ivory shades can look a little bit warmer toned, so I chose this one because it's a little bit on the cooler side. Even though it's a gray, it still looks almost white on my skin. It's very, very light. But I find that, you know, with a cooler tone look, I just want everything to be cool toned, not just the darker shades. So that's why I went with this one for the palette. So I'm just putting that all over my lid up to the brow bone. And then for my transition crease color, I'm going to be using the shade Antique Lilac, and this one is a really pale lavender matte shade. I love how these shades apply too, because they have almost no fallout to them and they're really soft. The brush picks them up so easily. So I really love that about Coastal Scents eyeshadows in general. And they're pigmented, but they're not like so crazy pigmented that you put your brush there and then it's like too much, you know, or it's overkill. You can build the shadows to what you want, and that's personally what I prefer than ones that are a little bit too intense. And I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. I love how it gives just like the sheerest wash of lavender. It's so pretty. I love this color. And then in the outer corner, I'm going to be using the shade Violetta, which is a really deep mauve purple shade. I'm just blending that all the way across to my crease and to the inner corner. Then I'm just going to go ahead and blend that right into that transition shade that was above it. And then for my lid color, I'm going to be using the shade Panama Rose right here, which is a shimmering violet with a pink undertone. It's so beautiful. This is actually the first shade I picked up when I decided I wanted to do a purple palette. It's gorgeous. I can't wait to see what it looks like on the eyes. And of course, I'm going to do swatches of all of these shades as well, so you can really see what the colors look like up close a little bit more. I know it's sometimes hard to tell when they're all together on your eye, what the individual shades look like. Plus I'm not using them all, so I will definitely do some swatches next. That is so pretty and ridiculously pigmented. Wow. I'm also gonna put Panama Rose underneath my eyes on the lower lash line. That color is just so, so pretty. I can't get over how pretty this eye look is coming out and how nice these colors are. It's just amazing. All right, so now I'm going to apply a mascara, and this is the Essence Volume Hero. This is actually brand new. I just got it last week at Ulta, and I haven't tried it yet, so I'll try it out for this video. It has one of those really, really spiky plastic bristle brushes, but it's definitely adding a lot of volume and length right now. Wow. And it's separating my lashes nicely too, which is great. The way that my lashes are looking right now actually kind of reminds me of that new NARS Climax mascara. We might have a little bit of a dupe here. All right, so I actually really like this mascara. I think it did a good job. My lashes look really big and voluminous, so that's awesome. As long as it doesn't smudge, I think this is definitely a winner. I did try the curl one last week, and that one smudged like crazy, so I'm hoping that this one doesn't, fingers crossed. All right, so now it's just time to add some blush, and I forgot a blush brush. Hold on one second. All right, so for blush, I'm going to be applying the shade Gracious, and this one has a tiny bit of shimmer to it. The other shade that I got, I can't remember the name of it now, is Rejuvenate. That one is matte, but this one has just like a hint of shimmer, and I just think it's such a pretty soft rosy mauve color, so I'm going to try this one out. But I think either one would go really well with... Oh my gosh, that's pigmented. Whoa. I probably picked up a little bit too much. Oh my goodness. All right, we gotta blend this. Let me see if I can add some to the other cheek. If there's any left on the brush, I don't want to keep putting it on that one side. Like, just the residue of what was on it was probably enough, like, to do this cheek by itself. Whoa. All right, so that's your warning. If you get these blushes, definitely go easy on them. Just a tiny tap. I kind of swirled my brush around in it too much, so I know for next time to just like very lightly tap and then tap off any excess that's on my brush, because this is like, whoa. But I love the color. It's not too shimmery, which is awesome. It just adds maybe like a hint of glow, but nothing too crazy. And then for my lips, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Hi-Fi Shine Lip Gloss in the shade Back Talk. This is one of my favorite purpley mauve shades, so I felt like that would just go perfectly with this look. All right, so here is the finished look, and I'm absolutely loving the way that this came out. I think the quality of the shadows and the blushes is so good, and just putting together your own palette really ensures that you're gonna use every single shade and you're getting exactly what you want in a palette. I can totally see myself using this one so often. So let me go ahead now and show you some live swatches so that you can see all the shades up close and see the ones that I didn't apply to my eyes or my cheeks. Okay, so here's a closer look at my travel palette, and you can see that these are just individual pans that are magnetized, and they're very secure in this palette. They're not gonna go anywhere. Even if you shake it around, they're not gonna fall out. It has a nice hard lid, so it's not one of those, you know, flimsy plastic ones. It's actually more sturdy, and it does latch closed, which is nice. And then inside, you can really fit a lot more than I did in here. If you shift everything over to the side, you could definitely fit another row of blushes in here, or you could even do maybe 2 more rows of eyeshadows here and here. So there's really a lot you could do with this palette. You could make it all eyeshadows, you could do all blushes, whatever you want really. So that's one thing that I love about it. They do sell other palettes that have the individual wells that you can put the pans in, but those are fixed. So if it's just eyeshadows, that's all you can put. If it's just a blush palette, you can only put blushes. So with this, you can mix and match, and I really do like that about it. So like I said before, I just really tried to stick to a cool tone theme, and I ended up choosing 4 mattes, 2 shimmers as far as eyeshadows, and then I did 1 matte blush and 1 shimmer blush. And this shimmer blush is very low shimmer. It's not glittery at all. It's actually very subtle, which I love. I wasn't sure when I ordered it on the website, but seeing it now in person, it's not super glittery. So I'm really happy about that. And in general, I think that the quality of these shadows and blushes is really, really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some live swatches and and show you each one of the shades. So first up we have the shade Bombay, and this one's described as an airy pastel gray with a matte finish. The next shade is Antique Lilac, and this is described as a pale violet with an opaque matte finish. Next up is Panama Rose, and this is a shimmering violet with a pink undertone. This one is my favorite. Isn't that so beautiful? Gorgeous. Next up is Amethyst, and this one is described as a gemstone purple. It's absolutely beautiful as well. I didn't use this one on my eyes yet, but I can't wait to. It's so gorgeous. And then next up, Violetta is a deep mauve violet with a satin finish. Profound Plum is an intense deep purple with a matte finish. And then for the blushes, we have Rejuvenate, which is a beautiful cool toned matte pink. And then Gracious, which is a mauve pink with just a hint of shimmer to it. This is the one I used in my tutorial. It's absolutely beautiful. So overall, I am absolutely loving the quality and also the versatility of this Freedom Travel Palette. And I think what I'm going to do tonight is go on their website and find 3 more eyeshadows so I can fit another row in there, because that way I'll have a larger palette that I can travel with or just use at home. I really am enjoying this so much, and just the whole process of making my own palette is so much fun. So if you're thinking about placing an order, don't forget that this week up until August 24th, the palette itself is free if you order 10 eyeshadows, and it's a $10 value. So don't forget about that. I'll link everything in the description box below. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and also let me know in the comments below if you plan to order one of these palettes. If you've tried Coastal Scents custom palettes in the past, I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!